going to tell you again, it's a very lovely day. But if the sun wasn't shining, it would still be a lovely day. And if the storm clouds would roll up, it would still be a lovely day. For all things work to good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. And those who he called, he predestinated. And those who he predestinated, he also glorified. So there's coming a time in your life where you will be glorified with Jesus. And because a lot of people, they belong to Jesus and they know Jesus, but they know him at arm's length, at a distance. They keep him away. They don't like the responsibility of knowing him. They don't like or understand what is involved. And many of them don't want to know. They like it better this way. Because as far as they're concerned, they can do this and they can do that. And it's not a sin. And it's true. It's not a sin. You can make anything a sin. And you could make anything the way you want it. Because you are a human being that God created that has the power to do such things. You have the power to create. You're like him. He is a creator. He created you. So since you have all of these talents without even knowing and understanding, you make choices. And some of you make choices where you're really comfortable at staying at a distance. I had mentioned the one woman that said that every day she went before God and the Spirit of God came down upon her and she had a little devotional that she read every day. And she didn't want to know anything else. She didn't want to understand anything else. She felt if she didn't know or understand that she wouldn't be held responsible. She would not have to work or labor. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to live and enjoy her life here on earth. He who loves his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for the sake of Christ will save it because Jesus Christ will save it. So if you save your life here on earth and love your life here on earth, and you don't care about anybody or anything else, you don't care about the church, you don't care about, I don't come in contact with a whole lot of people in the church because physically I don't go to church. I can't. God made it so I stay here. This is my church. I have my own church. I have the authority to have my own church. So this is my church. My preaching is on the internet. But anyway, what I didn't mean to tell you that. What I meant to tell you is this. I don't keep God in arm's length for a reason. Even myself, as close as the Lord has me, I still have things that I had to work out. And I had to work them out between me and God that I didn't keep him at an arm's length. I could have kept him that way, but I loved him so much I couldn't because I knew he loved me so much I couldn't. But it isn't because he loves me, it's because he died for us all and he loves us all. But arm's length is when you keep him that way, he's not real. He's only what you made him. He's only what you made up in your heart and in your mind and in your feelings, what and who he is. Now, if you want to change that, then I would begin to plead the blood over my thinking and my feelings and how I accept things, how I believe things. And I would begin to talk to God about those things that I be changed enough. And I would work on it every day till I knew that he was no longer a distance. I remember not too long ago, I thought I made a terrible mistake. And in making that mistake, somebody accused me of it. And this is, I can't even tell you how long ago. But anyway, I could feel that accusation, and which those things are far from me. But in this, I told you, the only power the enemy has is what you give him. And so I was giving room for this accusation because things had happened in such a way that I thought they might be right. And I began to really receive and accept that I was guilty of what they said. And I'm telling you, in my spiritual condition and the way I am with God, oh, I'd rather die. And he knew all of my prayers were, hey, hang it up. You might as well, Lord. I'm done for. There's no way I want to go on to even breathe another moment or live another moment, because if I've done anything wrong, I don't want to go on. I don't care. I don't want to live. So what I did was I cried out to him to show me, to reveal to me the absolute truth. Was this condemnation? See, this wasn't conviction. This was condemnation. Was this condemnation true? Was I doing, or did I do what that condemnation said I did? And the Lord brought back to my remembrance while I'm praying exactly where it all started, where I began to believe whoever this was that was condemning me. And he brought that to my remembrance, and it was a very powerful thing, because it was somebody who believed with all of their heart that they had the power and authority to send people to hell, to condemn them. They believed that they had the power to condemn a person to death or to hell. They really believed that. And it was a very powerful thing to know and understand what was happening. Now, I believe I went through this the way I always go through things, is so that I could understand the power of it, so that I could understand how God sees it, what it does to his children, his innocent children. I'm telling you, when this comes on you, you're innocent. Don't believe it. It's coming on you because somebody is not where they need to be, and they claim to be a Christian. Well, anyway, as I was going through this, and I said, Lord, you just have to give me a sign. Did I do this or didn't I do this? Because I can't bear the thought that I may have done this, because this was a very serious accusation. And God did not answer me in the way that you would think he would answer me. He answered me in such a way, it was absolutely phenomenal and beautiful. So he just lifted the condemnation and let me feel a peace and let me know. And he said, go on. And I did. And the next morning when I woke up, I went to go pray to him about it, because I didn't get the sign that I thought I was looking for. And I could see him as plain as day looking at me smiling, like he always does. And he said to me, Marian, all is gone, erased and forgiven. He said, there is nothing there for me. I forgave it. It's gone. Now, what God forgave was my doubting. He didn't have to forgive what I was condemned of, because that was already gone. He was talking about forgiving my doubting. And he said to me, just go on. And he just poured out his peace on me that is beyond all understanding. He says, now these people really believe they have the authority of God to do this to other people. And when this condemnation comes on these other people, because you see, I don't work, this is what he told me, I don't work with condemnation. I work with conviction. Conviction is convincing you sinned. You'll feel a feeling and you'll have a memory, and it's like, oh, I did that wrong. That's conviction. And you'll feel the Holy Spirit let you know, yes, but you can be forgiven of it. Just repent of it and I'll take it. God, Jesus Christ, will put it under the blood. And you can feel that, you know that. But with condemnation, you feel this heavy, black, dark shroud try to be put upon you. It falls upon you like a blanket. You are going to burn in hell. And it may even accuse you of blaspheming the Holy Spirit because you dared to touch God's anointed and tell the truth to them or tell the truth about them. And and while you're going through these feelings, which are nothing but feelings, it's the way the enemy has to try to grip you, get under the shadow of that wing, and pull you out of there. And get you to believe that he has the power by force to take you according to the accuser. Who is the accuser? The accuser of the brethren is Satan. And when you go like this, you're going to hell because you said this and you did that and you are not coming from God. No. He didn't say that to his disciples to do that. He didn't tell them to do that. He said, even when he said, dust your feet off on them, as a testimony against them. But he did not say that you had the power to condemn them, that you had the power to tell them they were going to hell. Because even if there's a testimony against them, that doesn't mean if 10 years down the road they become a different person and repent and get saved, that they're not forgiven for that. But you have the power. Suddenly you know the word and you have the power to send people to hell. And you have the power to say, you're going to die. You're going to die of cancer. Suddenly you are in God's seat, condemning people to disease. God gave you permission to do that to someone who doesn't know what you know, doesn't think the way you think, doesn't believe the way you believe, doesn't understand what you understand. You don't even see that they're innocent in his eyes. Because you see, there's a big difference. Take a person who's read the Bible and they marry a person who's never read it. Take a person who knows you can be saved and they marry someone who has no idea who Jesus Christ is. And this person's read all about the Bible. Now, I'm not talking about one particular person. I'm talking about a lot of people do this. So you'll understand how these unequally yoked marriages operate, okay? And how you can get out of it. So you take that person and they know all about what's right and what's wrong, but they choose to do the wrong. They marry, whether it's a woman or a man that marries, she'll marry and she'll go commit adultery. or he'll marry and go commit adultery. And they'll go out and party and do whatever they want to. And they won't take complete advantage of what the other one has no idea about. And they will use all of their power in understanding to keep that other one blind and ignorant to what is right and what is wrong. Because if that other one doesn't know there is a God, doesn't know that Jesus Christ is Lord, doesn't know what the Word says, and the other part of them does, and they use it all of the psychology of it, all of the understanding of it, they use it all as a shield to protect themselves from ever being caught. And they'll even tell you, you got caught. You get caught at this. I never got caught, so I'm not guilty. Now, you see this working in the Congress, in the Senate, in the courtrooms. You see this kind of spirit working. You're guilty. I didn't get caught. Therefore, I'm not guilty. Like I said, the day was when you were innocent until proven guilty and I know it happened in 2007. I remember it clearly, until it all got overturned. Now you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. So if you can't prove yourself innocent, surely you must be guilty. So that's not even the real point of this. The real point of this is what happens with two everyday human beings that get married and they're unequally yoked. Now, the spouse who has all this knowledge of God and decided God's still with them, once saved, always saved. God never left them. They could go out and get as drunk as a skunk and sleep with whoever they want, come home, take a chance on spreading the disease to their children, doing whatever they want, prop up on the feet on the back of the wife, and let the wife think that they're wrong when they're right. Let the husband think that he's doing them a wrong when he's absolutely right. And this is the way psychologically. And these are men and women. Men and women have been in the military, and they understand psychological warfare. So they know how to manipulate the mind of the person they're married to. And they know how, if that person is innocent and they're kind and they're sweet and they're always forgiving, they know how to take that and manipulate it. Because maybe their spouse, man or woman, is not sly, conniving, sneaky, lying. They're not like that. They don't think like that. So all the while that the one spouse is thinking about when they do actually get saved and find God, their thoughts are only one place. How do I please God? Well, to please God, I have to be kind to my spouse, be good to her, no matter what she does. Be sweet, be kind. Don't ruffle her feathers on purpose, and don't, take care of her, protect her, do all those things. Because after all, you're a Christian, okay? And even though you've done her wrong, even though you've done wrong, hey, you can get that under the blood. Well, you don't have to tell her. You don't have to let him know. You don't, and you don't. When it comes to adultery in a marriage, I'm telling you, the worst thing you can do is admit anything. Because no man or no woman wants to hear that. They don't. They want to hear that you love them and that you chose to be with them in spite of everything. So anyway, when I'm trying to give you an understanding for how these things work, how this kind of marriage works. And like I said, there's a lot of women who have been in the service that understands how to use the weapons of warfare when they need to pull it out to protect them from getting caught. Same thing with a man. He needs to keep him exactly where he's at, to keep him from ever getting caught. He manipulates and maneuvers the way that woman will do that her husband will never find out, will never see. And all of their prayers are believing that God is with them and God will do that to a perfectly innocent person, which Jesus Christ said that the hypocrites, and this is a true hypocrite, the hypocrites are not going to get in. That the worst sinners, the prostitutes and all of them, will get in before them. And the reason for it is those people, even a murderer, they know they're wrong. They won't manipulate and try to prove to you they are right unless they're an idiot. And they won't get in. But there's a lot of them that really don't know what they were doing. But you, who had full knowledge and denied it and then used it, oh my, I wouldn't be in your shoes for all the money in the world. Because there you are, you have placed yourself in a judgment seat. You have decided what is right and what is wrong by yourself. You have decided that God is still with you because he promised he would be. But you forget that one over there that didn't know Jesus Christ at all, that man or that woman, that husband or that wife that did not know Jesus is completely innocent of your shenanigans, completely innocent of your lies, your tale-bearing stories, your pretense. Oh, you go out with the guys and you're a big shot. And the woman, she goes out with the girls and she's a big shot. She's so smart. Oh, yeah, well, you know what? My old man, he's this and he's that. And the guy says, my old woman, oh, I got her where I want her. Yeah, she's so dumb, she has no idea. And he convinces everybody that not only is she dumb, but she's wrong and evil when she hasn't done a thing. The same thing with the man. Man is good. He hasn't done anything wrong. And that woman will go and lie on him and make him look like the worst devil there is. You know why? They have to. To protect themselves and keep them the way they are, they deliberately put up these walls of defense. These walls of defense that really can harm you. I gotta shut this